My name is Fabienne. I'm the director of Zembra, which is a limited company, quite recent. And the company is mainly aiming at developing new products, new applications using agricultural waste, what we call normally waste. And we found a way to use those waste in a creative and innovative manner. We started to work on the company 3 years ago, and we created the company. Just a few people were free at the beginning. And the idea of the company was to try to find new products, if possible, high-value products, develop, starting with a very low-value product, which is an agricultural waste. And in the first case, it's something which comes from olive meal waste. So it's completely natural. So we start working on that first by making studies, testing. We paid for the testing through grants, which was an interesting way of, not spending too much of our finance. But in the same time, we were also testing things with some kind of outsider, so we could be sure that our ideas were good. So we developed slowly. We went into several directions until we were able to define a few products, which were obviously the good ones. Let's hope. Anyway, that they're going to be the good ones and a great success. The first product we are actually ready to put on the market, and we are just starting, in fact. It's a slug repellent. It doesn't look sexy, it doesn't look especially something interesting, but it is. Slugs are actually a big problem. There is a slug invasion. Slugs sometimes are eating up to 10% of a field. So for a farmer, it's a big issue, and for everybody else, people with little garden, they hate to have their flowers and little vegetables eaten by slugs. And actually what's happening is government and studies shows that using chemical to kill the slugs has an unfortunate, very bad consequence on our water table. So some of those products are already forbidden. Some are probably going to be forbidden quite soon. And this is something which is entirely natural, which is pleasant to use, which smells good, and which works, but it doesn't kill a slug. I'm a French person, obviously, because of my accent, and I'm working in England. I have a British company with British partner. My partner are much more specialized than me. I'm more of a business part of a company, and they are more of a scientific part. I'm working with some brilliant chemists who are finding brilliant solutions for new products. We're going to try to keep it as a company which is developing products, much more than producing them. We're going to have all the producing part made by others for us. And actually we are aiming for our first product to have all the work done outside of Great Britain because it's cheaper. And it will be much more economical for us to have everything arriving already packaged here. With our olive residue that we are using, we are working with Tunisia. Tunisia is a small country, but it's quite dynamic, even if it has a tiny population, but they really are eager to work. And it's probably the only country actually in North Africa which is democratic. with all the women's rights are perfectly respected in Tunisia, and it's quite a comfortable country for me to go. When I go, I have absolutely no problem. I'm just dressed the way I'm dressed here, and I'm respected by people the same way I will be, maybe more sometimes than in London. So I have absolutely no problem here in Tunisia, and it's very convenient. Tunisia has a special agreement with the EU. And because of those special agreements, there is no taxation to import products from Tunisia. So as Great Britain is still a member of EU, I hope it will stay, I can import my olive waste without any problem. So our aim and our business focus is to create application substitutes for products which degrades environment. The first example I've already used is the slug, which use a waste to create a perfectly nice substitute, natural. And it can replace everything which is chemical actually, and in the same time it improves the soil condition. So it works as a soil conditioner. So that's quite an interesting thing. We have other products which are in fact following the same idea of sustainability and environmentally friendly. There is a lot of pollution in the water, ocean and rivers, coming from the fact that a lot of us are using a special product to clean our skin. And all these products, which are supposed to make your skin very smooth, are using little plastic beads. Plastic beads are very, very cheap, mostly made in China, at very low cost, but the fishes eat them, and it's not very good. I don't eat them because I want to eat them. They eat them because they just absorb it, because they're really very, very small. It's a question of micron. So we have a solution for that we are developing actually with a company which is a Norwegian company. It's called Aqua Biotechnology, ASA, in Norway. And they are mainly producing products for cosmetic industry, and they are providing worldwide to the cosmetic industry some products. So actually we are testing with them what we call Zend, with a Z again, because of Zembra. It's a little joke that I'm making with all the products. And Zend is a ground olive kernel, very, very finely ground. So it's a stone, it's very hard. We can grind it at a very, very, very fine size. It's difficult to explain, but it seems that they still have some goodies in it, which are terpene, which are still left in it. So not only it can clean your dead cells on your skin, but it can improve your skin. And we can also add to it some extra goodies, which are going also to improve the quality of the skin. And as it's a purely clean and degradable product, it's going just to disappear, sand, into the sand of the ocean in a normal way. So that's one of these products that we are developing. We are also doing something a bit more high-tech that we are working on. We're creating an extract from still the same agricultural waste, and we're doing that using the technology of our sister company, Celbius, with an ultrasonic bioprocessing. And the liquid that we are extracting, we are testing this extract at the University of Liverpool on fish. Fish farming is a big, important market, and it's a big source of food. actually the fish, to stay in good health, people were in England, but not anymore, giving them antibiotic. It's completely forbidden, actually. Unfortunately, in many countries, like in North America, and also in India, in China, they're still giving antibiotics to the fish, which are fish farmed. That's a big issue because we know that actually we are developing resistance to antibiotic, and it can end very badly for everybody on the planet. And so we need to find replacement, natural replacements, which will boost the health of the fish we're farming in a natural way. And what we have found does that precisely. So we are going on with this testing. It's long-term testing because a fish, to have a result, you need to wait at least 18 months. So we did the first testing on smaller fish, which grow faster. So we know that not only it boosts their health, but also it doesn't change their taste, because in fact the researcher, well, they fried the fish at the end and eat that. So we know no trouble with the taste. They don't taste like olive oil at the end, which won't be that bad after all. And also it boosts their growth. They are obviously growing faster, not fatter, faster with muscles. So that's the third product, and we're still doing some more research, also with an extract. And this is on little annoying fleas that you have on many plants. So we're doing that at another research center, which is Janet Center, which is a big agricultural research center near Norwich in Norfolk. We are actually, in fact, working with 3 different research centers and universities. The slug market is a big market. The fish market is an enormous market. And we could also apply it to other farmed animals like chicken or pigs, because the issue of the antibiotics are the same for pigs, chicken, and in fact for most animals that we are eating. But in each case, when you go into the animal chain, which is our food chain, you need to pay for quite a lot of testing to be sure that there is no health issue for people at the end. Starting with a natural product, it's much easier to prove it, because we can avoid proving a lot of things, because, well, olive, after all, it's olive oil, and we are eating it already. So it's easier to prove that with a natural product than with something which will be completely chemical. So that's, I think that for us, the slug repellent is a kind of immediate profit. The fish and other animal products are more in the following years, but they're all huge markets. A lot of technology are improving the way we can recycle things, whatever things it is. Actually, for example, we have a company who contacted us, and they were trying to reduce their waste. Their waste is quite pleasant to work with because it's fruit waste. This company is importing fruits and some vegetables, but mainly fruits, and those fruits are mainly citrus. For many supermarkets in Great Britain, they import the fruits, they check the fruits, they repackage the fruits, and they put on the side everything which is not perfect, which is a lot of waste. which is also a waste, I think, for many, because some are just put aside just because they're too small. But everything which is a bit bruised, which is starting to mold, whatever, everything which is cut, they put it on the side, and they have this huge amount of waste. And of course they are paying a lot of money yearly to get rid of this waste, which is an enormous quantity. We came, thanks to new technology, to an easy solution for them. We came with a very simple solution, which will be to make two different products with it by drying it, chopping it, and then compressing it. One of the products doesn't necessitate any compressing technology, and it's cat litter, and you have to believe me, it's a big market. And the other product is some little logs that you can burn. So you're going to burn logs made of dried, compressed fruit waste. That's a nice thing to do. It has a pretty image, and the only reason we can do that, and people won't have been able to do that 20 years ago, is because we didn't have the machines. Now we have them. Actually, there is a big change in people's attitude. The change came from below. It's government are pushing business. They don't give them any choice, and I think it was a good thing to do, because if you give people choice, especially business, they're just going to find that the best solution is the one which costs them the less. So, as they have to pay now, and landfill taxes went up quite a lot, and recently this year in April, you have a big increase in landfill taxes. A lot of products actually are forbidden for usage, agricultural usage and industrial usage, dangerous products which are dangerous for us, for our health and for the environment. If we haven't enforced it by law, it won't have been done. So I think it's good. I think that's the only way to deal with companies, unfortunately, is to force them. It's not only companies, it's farmers, it's the same thing. It's even if farms actually are nearly like big companies in most cases. You really need to push people, because in the countries actually where government aren't pushing people, nothing's happening, and those countries have much more pollution than our Western countries. So we can see that, and that's why we have all this international treaty about environment. A lot of countries have very different attitude toward recycling. But I think a lot of individual, at the level of private companies, in countries where people are, government are not yet concerned about waste treatment, those individuals are already concerned. For many reasons, because, well, everybody knows actually what another country is doing, information is circulating, and when I'm talking, for example, with people in Tunisia, a country which has nothing special as environmental law, most of the business people I'm talking to, they are very conscious that something should be done, and they are ready to listen to solutions. They don't always have the money to put into applying those solutions, but they really would like to do it. So I think at the level of individual, there is a kind of general awareness of what could be done for our common planet. It is creating a market for me, for my company, and for other company dealing in the same fields. It's creating, in fact, a lot of new market and new opportunities for companies who are interested in finding solutions for waste. I think consumers in general are very aware. You always have the classic, like, average American who thinks that it's just propaganda from lefty government. But I spent nearly 7 years in the States and I travel a lot there, and I could see that it was the reaction of a lot of people. But you also have in the same country people on the West Coast or the East Coast, maybe both coasts, which are conscious that something has to be done. And you have catastrophe also arriving, and when a catastrophe arrives, suddenly people became aware that something has to be done, and pollution, I mean, you cannot pollute a site without consequences. So I think the fact that any drama, industrial drama due to pollution is actually publicized on the news, it helps people to become more conscious about their environment. Well, I think there is something about that, because if you look at some products, like on the stock market, you have these stocks which are, let's say, moral stocks. And they're going up. They are extremely well received and their value is high. And so it seems that there is something there. That the moral individual, which is inside every human being, is suddenly ready to react to those things, because it's a threat. It's a general threat, a threat for the planet. And we know that the moral individual, from studies, always existed, and the only reason we had this kind of moral side of our brain is because we want to be able to survive. So I think we suddenly want to survive on that planet. The biggest challenge in the future, curiously, is more competition. I think actually we have a limited space, not much competition, but I think we're going to end up in a bigger space, because a lot of people will want to do something with their waste, and a bigger competition too. So it's in fact interesting, because it's a big opportunity, because the market is expanding, and the younger generation will demand increasingly sustainable, traceable products. They're going to ask for it, and we can see that it's a reaction of a lot of young people. They are asking for something truly traceable. They're not going to listen to some kind of cover-up. And yeah, I think the challenge is mainly competition, but the competition is going to be balanced by more market and also more technology, because the more we're trying to find solution to treat anything, any pollution we are creating, the more we're trying to find solutions to replace products, the more new products we're going to create, which are going to be sustainable. I think the day we're going to stop using that word, it will mean it will be natural. Because just now we're using it a bit too much. It became like the adjective you have to put near everything, and the day we're going to stop using it, stop using even the word green, and it will be that everything will be really green and sustainable. And the day we're going to achieve that result where it won't be something we will mention anymore, that will be the day we will have succeeded.